Back in 2015, I decided to move to Scotland to go to university in Glasgow. And the plan was to stay there until I would finish my degree, which was supposed to be in August this year. But then, as you all know, March came, coronavirus hit, Europe was about to go into full lockdown, and I had to make a quick decision. Am I going to stay in Glasgow, or am I going to move home early? I decided to book one of the last flights out. I somehow was sure about one thing, and that was once I'd get on that plane, student life as I knew it in Scotland was gonna be over. Now with this video, I'm sort of trying to sum up what those last 5 years have been like. But 2020 has been anything but a usual year, so this isn't my usual video either. It's not a montage of the most beautiful clips that I captured in Scotland with a cool track and some sick transitions. No, I think I'd rather tell the story of what the last years have been like, share some memories. But don't get me wrong, this is not going to be an accurate representation of my daily life. There's no footage from me spending hours in the library studying or writing my dissertation or just hanging out with my friends, going to the pub, watch football, those kind of things. I just don't have any footage of that. And that also means that a lot of my friends are not going to be in this video because I simply don't have any footage of you, so apologies for that. This video is more about just looking back, reflecting on some memories, and realizing why I fell in love with Scotland. And one of the biggest reasons for that are the Highlands, the mountains, the seascape. Honestly, I loved Glasgow, but I was happiest going up north and just spending time in nature. And I wasn't that much into hiking before I moved to Scotland, but now I can definitely say it's one of my favorite things to do. I just absolutely love it. I even got into climbing a little bit while I was there, but it also kind of scares me because unfortunately I'm afraid of heights. But anyway, one day one of my mates, Liam, thought it was a good idea to drag me up a winter climbing route in Scotland, despite my fear of heights and lack of climbing experience. I'm struggling to remember a day where I've been more scared and more relieved to be back at my car safely than that day. But nevertheless, it is still one of my favorite memories, and I'm so glad that I got to experience this. As someone who grew up in the city, I'm almost surprised how much enjoyment I would get out of a day hiking in miserable Scottish winter weather with winds that would knock you off your feet and visibility so poor you're glad your mates are wearing colourful jackets because it's so easy to lose sight of each other. But if the weather actually does end up to be decent, which doesn't happen very often, but if it does, I can confidently say Scottish mountains are one of the best places in the world you can spend time with your friends. Honestly, I did not think that just getting into your car with a few friends, a few tents and a few cans of beers and going up north with no plan whatsoever would be as much fun as it was. Genuinely, I loved every single time we did that. I also went surfing a few times, but I'm really bad at it, and the cold ocean in February in Scotland didn't make it any easier, so that wasn't quite successful. Now all that's left to say is thank you to all my friends that I've met over these last 5 years. Not just for making the whole thing as fun, as exciting as it was, but also for supporting me whenever it wasn't fun and exciting. For example, my undergrad dissertation, that was definitely not fun, I can tell you that. I'm just grateful that the people here never made me feel like an outsider or a foreigner. I always felt like I belonged here. And most importantly, I want to thank my family for supporting me throughout this time. It wasn't always easy, but it definitely felt like something I had to do, and I'm so glad that I moved here when I was 19. Let's just say, it's gonna be really hard to make the next 5 years as exciting and full of great memories as the last 5 years.